Hey, boys and girls. So, just to explain this IXL real quick, they're going to ask you about the percentages in these shapes. So, what you do is you can make a fraction first. For example, this is a 10 block. You can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you can make your fraction. The total number of blocks goes on the bottom, so it's 10. And the amount that's colored in is 5. So now you have to think, what percentage is that? Now you can either realize that 5 is half of 10, which would mean it would probably be half of what a whole percentage is. And if you remember, percent is always out of 100. So if it's out of 100, well, what's half of 100? 50. So that would be 50%. Now you could also do this. This is what I would have taught you in class, but I know we're not in class, so, and we would have practiced this a lot, is you could set up a fraction where we know that 5/10 eventually has to get turned into 100 on the bottom, but we don't know what would go on top. So what we would do is we would use multiplication. I'm going to use my multiplication dot. We would think 10 times what number gives me 100? Well, 10. But you have to remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you must also do to the top. So I'm also going to times the top by 10. So 5 times 10 is 50. So that's how I come up with 50. That's how we would have practiced it in class. We would have done a lot of work like that. Okay? That's how you would do that. Now, for your next one, another way to do this is you can realize that when you use a 10 block, each block is worth 10%, because if I count this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Well, all 10 of those equals 100%, but only 9 are shaded in. So it's real easy. All you really have to do is, if each one is worth 10, you just do 9 times 10. So that's another way to do it. Okay. And that's going to equal 90. Sorry, I'm using my mouse right now. So my numbers look kind of strange. But so this would be 90%. Now, if you notice here, it says, write your answer using a percent sign. So remember, that's where you hit shift and then 5. Now I'm going to jump a level. So as I go higher, it's the same type of question. And we would know we would count by tens with that because that's a 10 block. So I'm going to find one that's different. I thought they would have 100 blocks here, but okay, so I'll answer this one real quick. This would be 50%. Okay. And then again, so maybe this one doesn't have the 100 blocks, but this one would be 10. Ah, here we go. Now, something like this, they're all shaded in, but now it's out of 20. So that would be 100% because everything's shaded in. So it does get a little harder. They do throw some curves in there. Okay. And even this, everything's shaded in. This is 100 blocks, so this would be 100%. Okay. All right. So if you guys do have questions, you can contact me. Okay. But even something like this. Now this one, only 3 are shaded in, but it's out of 5. So this would be 3 out of 5. And you can set it up how I did one of the earlier ones, where we can multiply by a certain fraction to get to 100 on my bottom. But you would have to know 5 times what gives me 100? It would be 20. So whatever you do to the bottom, you would have to do to the top. So then you would do 3 times 20, which would be 60. So this would actually equal 60%. Okay, so they do get harder, but do your best with them. And remember, you could always read the solutions, all right, when you get them wrong. All right, guys, best of luck.